Hi everybody and welcome to my latest video. This is going to be my second episode of my so-called reseller reality type series, where last week I put out a video on Monday showing you guys exactly what I sold the week that had just passed, showing you exactly how much I'd sold, what I'd spent on the stock, what I'd made back on eBay by selling the stock, and after what I was left with after the fees. And in my previous week, you can check out my video. It's on my channel if you haven't already. I had a terrible week, and I was more or less saved by one day of sales where I did over £300 in turnover, and that more or less made an absolutely dreadful week slightly less dreadful, which was obviously like quite an upsetting thing if you're a full-time reseller, where to have a bad week it's kind of stressful. And it did promote a bit of conversation, a bit of comment, and I was very grateful for all the input I got, most of which did revolve around getting my ass in gear and listing more, because without listing everything else is useless. And thanks to people like Joe, who commented, and amongst many others, Fake Rachel, and a lot of the other regular commenters, which always, I love listening, reading the comments. And I did obviously step it up a little bit. I'm not going to lie and say, I've just changed my ways. This is more of you guys sharing my reseller journey as well. I'm not going to suddenly be able to change all these horrible bad habits that I've got and suddenly become a listing machine. I've tried, definitely, I do get easily distracted. However, I did manage to get a few more listings up, and I'm kind of a few listings away from the 300 listing mark, which is not bad for me, in terms of where I have been. And the kind of items I'm selling, thankfully, some of them are higher value, and that can sometimes help make up for my lack of a high volume inventory. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to the other view, and I'm going to show you guys first how much I did last week compared to the week before. And again, I'll show you what the fees, etc., were, and what I ended up with in my pocket, which is obviously then going to be taxed as well. And then we can go on from there, and I'll show you 5 of my favorite sales from that week as well, because I thought that would be a good idea as well, just to show you guys, which of the items last week I kind of enjoyed selling and helped me onto what I achieved. Okay, I'm just going to switch over to the webcam and monitor view. And here I am. Okay, guys, so these are my sales for the previous week. Now, straight away, if I show you week 1 of February, you can see that's all I managed to do in week 1. And as you can see, there was only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, only 13 sales, and £424 turnover, after which I was left with £284, after paying postage, packaging, etc. And then obviously you're going to have to bear in mind that tax has to come out of that, national insurance has to come out of that, depending on whether you go over your annual profit threshold. Now, this week has been the week that's just gone has been a completely different story, and it was a lot more successful. As you can see, there's a lot more items. There's a lot more items there. In fact, we've gone from 13 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, about 22, 23 items, so already about 10 more items than I sold previously. And you'll be able to see that on some of them, the sale price is very good. The profit is very good as well. So, I mean, if I show you, for example, I've got a Mass Effect figure there that you can see that I bought for 6, sold for 35. After all the fees, came out with £21 profit. And then obviously here we've got a nice Pioneer PL15, which is a vintage turntable that I picked up for a £5. Made sure it was all working, tested it all out, sold it for a total of 143.98 with postage, and came away with 118 after all the fees. So that's a really nice sale. All said and done, as you can see along the bottom here, you can see that for the second week of February, the stock I sold cost me about £70. I sold it for about 10 times that, which is fantastic, £735 in turnover. And because of the way I'm doing it, I'm measuring the sales week from Monday to Sunday. Really I should be doing like a Monday to Monday or a Sunday to Sunday, but I'm just doing it, Monday to, yeah, I think that's how I'm doing it. I'm doing it from like a Sunday to I'm getting confused now. This is terrible. Yeah, okay. It's like, yeah, I'm doing it from Monday the 8th till Sunday. So I'm doing it from Monday to Sunday when really it should be, Monday to Monday, as it were, or Sunday to Sunday. My point is, there was a time where, when I looked at my last 7 day sales, I did top the £1,000 turnover mark, which for me is an achievement, and especially because I'm getting really good margins on my items. It's nice to see. But all waffling aside, which I'm trying to minimize, believe it or not, £71 was spent on the stock. I sold it for about 10 times that, £735. After paying eBay, PayPal, postage fees, etc., I was left with a profit of £501.50, off which obviously you're going to have to take tax and national insurance. So a much better week. Still not where I want to be, obviously, in terms of my end goal, but way better than what I did last week. And if I could do this guaranteed every week, I'd be pretty happy. £500 after all the costs, for reselling at home. That would be amazing. However, when you speak to people like Ken Chapman, oops, what have I done there? Okay, when you speak to people like Ken Chapman and others with big inventories, they will always vouch for the fact that a big inventory is what saves you. So how can you go from doing so terribly one week to doing more than double, pretty much, or almost double, if depending on how you look at it. Just under double the sales of previous week. But how can you go from such an extreme, from selling 13 items to 23 items? The random factor is always going to be there when you've got a relatively small inventory like I have. So in order to kind of get consistent sales, I still understand, and I'm still trying to focus as much as I can on getting my listings up to the 1,000+ mark, because I believe if I can continue sourcing the kinds of items I'm sourcing and get to about the 1,000 plus inventory mark, I think I would see more consistently good weeks. I don't want a week like this to be a one-off, and I can already tell you this week that we're in now, that I'm going to make a video out next week, has already gotten off to a pretty awful start. Again, it's too inconsistent at the moment. The income is too inconsistent, and I can only put that down to not having a big enough inventory to cover you for those slow days. I'm hoping, obviously, by the time I make the video for next week, things will have improved, but so far they've not been the best start. I've not had the best start, so as a heads up for my next week's video. But as you can see, guys, £735 in turnover, £500 cleared profit after everything, which is fantastic. And if I could do that every week, I'd be pretty happy personally. Obviously, I don't want to stop there. I want to improve, but it's a much better improvement over the previous week. So, and considering it's February and a lot of people are saying February is a bit slow, obviously the time of year, etc., I can't really complain. Now, what I'm going to do now is show you guys let's have a look. I'm going to show you guys my favorite sales from the past week as well, so you guys can get a closer look at some of the items I've sold. As you guys know, I've been selling a lot of hi-fi. It's working out really well for me. This was a flip from eBay. I actually picked up a Denon stereo system on auction for about £22 or £23, local pickup, and it came with the CD player, the tuner, cassette deck, and the amp as well. So 4 separates from Denon for £23 collected. Fantastic. I took the CD player. It had the remote as well, as you can see. Really nice Denon CD player, made in Japan. Good quality unit, and it sold very quickly. Oh, sorry, not made in Japan, made in Europe. Sold very quickly for £50. So already I'm well into profit on that sale, on that deal. £23 for 4 separate units. I've sold one of them for £50, so the rest is gonna, this obviously made me some profit on the deal anyway, and the rest is going to be all profit. If I actually switch back to this screen, you can see here that I've basically priced it so that it's cost me, I think it was £24 for the 4 items. So I've basically divided the 4 items by an even amount, say £6 an item. Sold that for 50, so that's already made me 63% profit on return, which I'm not sure you can actually see there, because it's, yeah, let me just show you, move it up there, here we go. You can see there, it's the top one there, the Denon DVD 485 well, it's meant to be DCD actually, I think, PCM CD player. So spent 6, sold it for 50, cleared 31. So I'm already in profit on the £24 or 23, £24, whatever it was I spent, and now the rest are going to make me even more profit because I've still got the tuner, the cassette, and the amp to sell. So that's my first sale that I wanted to show you, really good. Next item, now this is something I've been sitting on for a while. This was a Gumtree pickup from a while back. I paid £24 for 4 of these games figures. There was 2 Mass Effect, 2 Gears of War. I've actually got one of these Mass Effect figures sat in FBA doing sweet FA. And this one on eBay has actually sold, so I've got and it's sold for more than I'm asking for my figure that I've got on FBA. So £35 I got for this from £6 spent. So I'm probably going to recall the other one back from Amazon and just sell it on eBay because certain items I think are just better suited for eBay, and I think video game collectible action figures probably will come under that for me. So you can see he's a sealed Thane Series 1 collector's action figure. So that was a nice little sale as well. Moving on to my third sale that I want to show you, probably one of my best sales of recent times. This is a lovely sale. Now, you've got to know what you're doing. This is a perfect example of knowing what you're doing. Record players are not for the faint of heart in terms of shipping. Now, this only cost me £5, which is unbelievable. I got it working. Got it was a belt-driven turntable. It was working fine. The stylus is fine. Everything was fine. I tested it out. I tried it on a 33 and a 45 record on there, and it worked beautifully. Now, this thing is vintage. It's made in Japan. You can see it had a bit of scuffing on the casing, but still it had an immense amount of interest when it was on sale. I think I had so many watchers on this item, and eventually it sold, like I said, for £135. And not only did it sell for 135, they paid £10 shipping on top as well, which is, or £9 shipping on top, I think it was. So that sold brilliant. I'm very happy with that. But what I'm saying about knowing what you're doing is shipping turntables is not something you should do if you don't have the knowledge of doing it. A lot of turntables actually come with transportation screws as well. In this case, they would have been in that little hole there, and I think there was one underneath the actual platter, and that's to stop the turntable from being jolted around and getting damaged during transit. They are very delicate bits of kit. Unfortunately, I did not have those screws, which meant I had to be very smart about how I packaged it, protecting the tone arm, the platter, everything, trying to get that to not move, to make it steady. So you used a lot of bubble wrap, a lot of packaging to make sure it got there on time. So just bear that in mind if you're shipping turntables. You do a bit of research because it does matter how you ship them, how well you package them. They need to be packaged a lot more carefully than you might have thought. But that's just a side note. But anyway, great sale for me. Sold that for £135. Here's another great item. Picked this up for a £5 as well a while back. It's a Dragon 32 computer. Got a bit of yellowing there because of age. Really nice vintage item. I tuned it into my TV, made sure it was working, and it was, and it sold for £60. And finally, this is a wonderful sale. I paid £10 for this at my local charity store, one of my local charity shops, and it's a JVC VHS player, but the difference is this is a Super VHS player with an S-video output, and what that meant was if you had video that was recorded on Super VHS, you'd be getting a lot more, almost double the lines of resolution compared to a regular VHS, so the quality of your picture was a lot sharper, a lot better. It was about 420 lines, which is actually only about 60 lines short of DVD when you're looking at Region 1 DVDs. So very good quality, quite expensive tech for the time. Like I said, I picked this up for a tenner at my local charity shop, and it's gone for £125. So those were my 5 favourite sales from that week. I hope you enjoyed watching those. I hope you enjoyed seeing my actual sales figures. So £280 odd I think I cleared in week 1 of February. after all fees, yeah, 280. Second week a lot better, just clearing 500. So hopefully this week will be better, but I can tell you now already it hasn't started well. But I believe that that consistency will only come from building up my inventory. So hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you've got any more comments or questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section. I enjoy reading comments, positive and negative. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. And I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching.